And welcome back, everyone. It is the time of the show where we get an opinion. And the newest member of our sports team is a guy who, he certainly has one, doesn't he? He's going to be appearing each and every Sunday right here on Sports Sunday. And he is, of course, contributor John Canzano. And welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yes, we're going to first talk about the Oregon Ducks, the juggernaut that is their offense. 35-0. They outscore the Vols yesterday in the second half. Passing that road test with flying colors, right?
I loved the way they responded to the adversity. I thought, obviously the start was a disaster for them. Everything went wrong. They overcame that, and Darren Thomas showed a little medal in front of 100,000 people there. They could have really struggled for the rest of that game, but I love how they just said, you know what, this is a mediocre SEC team. They came back from the lightning thing and caught lightning in a bottle, so I feel real good about their performance.
I think the one thing that I really like about them so far is their composure. They're not getting down really too early in these games, and whatever they do, their depth and their experience right now, especially along that offensive line, they're home run hitters. They're hitting the big play each and every game so far.
They are, and they're making big plays. Darren Thomas, I think, is going to be a little bit of a wild card. He's a little squirrely still. He's going to make some mistakes. He's going to make some good plays. But you're right, they got Kenyon Barner, they got LaMichael James, they've got Cliff Harris making big plays, and Darren Thomas will come up with enough plays. He doesn't need to do it all himself. And I think he's going to have to keep that in mind when they get into the tough Pac-10 games. Remember, they haven't played anybody yet.
Right.
This is a mediocre Tennessee team and New Mexico. I don't think they played a bowl team yet.
Well, I'm looking at this now. Portland State next week, at Arizona State week after that, and then opening Saturday in October, they have Stanford at home. This schedule really is setting up pretty nicely for them.
They're in brilliant position, but the last 5 weeks of the season, they have Murderers Row in the Pac-10, and that will be where they either make hay or they sort of fall off the end. Now, we've been here before. Let's kind of, like Chip Kelly, I love that he said 24 hours to celebrate. I think fans should celebrate for 24 hours, and let's start to get serious and keep the BCS talk to a minimum.
Temper that enthusiasm right now. All right, Oregon State, of course, had the bye. They've got Louisville next in their home opener next weekend. I think that they should blow them out, and I think that would be the right thing to do because they are going to need a little bit of confidence going into Boise the week after. They
have to win this game. This is a must-win on the schedule. If they don't win this game, they're in real trouble because they can't start their Pac-10 season 0-3. Boise State at Boise is going to be difficult for them, but they have to win this week at Reser Stadium.
Okay. James Madison upsets Virginia Tech. What does that do to Boise State now in the BCS? That shakes it up a little, doesn't it?
It kills them. Yeah. It kills them. It kills Oregon State now. If they go and beat Boise State by some measure, then it hurts Oregon State. That's part of what's wrong with this system is that we have to now pay attention to these tangents and who's beating who and who are they playing the next week. It's why we need a playoff.
It's like Kansas. Kansas lost to whatever it was, North Dakota State or South Dakota, and then went out and beat Georgia Tech yesterday, too. Yeah. Okay, minor league baseball is now gone, and this week, last week, you had a pretty heated discussion with Mayor Sam Adams. Is City Hall where this is to blame that baseball's no longer here?
Absolutely. I think you look at markets like Reno, Sacramento, Fresno, and you see what they've done to build minor league stadiums. Merritt Paulson came to the city of Portland. He said, I'm going to give you $25 million. I'm going to guarantee that I'll cover all the overruns. They had a ticket tax in place to cover any kind of gap. They were going to tax the players' salaries. Far more support than you saw in some of those other really minor cities. Portland's a big city. It should be able to have Major League Soccer and baseball. It shouldn't be a choice either or. I think that there's a problem with leadership in the city, a problem with vision in the city. I looked at the projections for attendance. And, in the last 5 years, minor league stadiums across the country, the smallest increase in attendance for a new stadium was 67%. I think the right place for the stadium was in the Rose Quarter, and I'm disappointed that the politicians of the city have let this city down. I was in attendance at that game, the final game, and I'm telling you, I looked around me and people's eyes were welling up. It was a pretty emotional day there. Do you even ask the question, does pro ball ever return to Portland? Does it ever come back into the city? I think it does, but it doesn't happen until the current leadership's out of place. The city council right now is weak. The mayor has lost his clout. That is clear. So I think after 2012, if you can get real leadership in the city, baseball could return. You know what I learned from all this? There is support for baseball in this market. Yeah, the problem is the baseball people aren't like the Timbers Army, aren't like Duck fans or Beaver fans. They don't know how to organize themselves. So maybe you learn something from this. Baseball people out there, get yourselves together. You exist, you have common goals, and demand that the leadership in the city, think bigger. Okay. Well, I sure hope it happens, no doubt about it. 2 weeks from tomorrow, the Blazers open up training camp, and hey, all eyes obviously going to be on Greg Oden. Is he healthy? When's he going to play? What is the thing that you're looking forward most when you get out there and see the guys running around on the court?
What do you want to see?
I just want to see Odin play a full season. I mean, forget it. We're watching Kevin Durant lead, USA to glory. I want to see Greg Oden healthy, productive for a full season. I talked to Joel Przybilla last week again. He really wants to be there for opening day. I'm not sure that he's going to be ready. I think that's a real concern in the post for Blazer fans. So I think they really need Greg Oden to be there. And again, it comes to Rich Cho in the front office. I think this season, whether or not there's big-time success or not, will be dictated by whether or not Cho can deal Przbylla's contract and Andre Miller's contract. Those pieces have got to go, and the Blazers need something in return. Otherwise, I think this season's going to be a real mixed bag.
When you said it on your radio show this last week, for Blazer fans to sit and watch Kevin Durant succeed, does that just hurt a little bit more? I mean, watching him succeed like that.
It's painful.
It is.
And you know what? Kevin Durant is a talent. Yeah. And the Blazers, I think they made the right choice when they chose Greg Oden, given the circumstances. But it is painful to watch Durant lead his team, Team USA, cross his chest. He's out there. He's performing great. And Greg Oden he's a question mark in training camp. I mean, I want to grab Greg Oden and say, man, this is your time. This is your last opportunity, or people are going to start jumping off that bandwagon.
Quick plug. You've got another thing for charity coming up. Battle of the Network Stars. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, Friday, Safeway in the Pearl District, Bald-Faced Truth Foundation. We're helping kids in the Portland area. Music, art, drama, education, athletics. You will be eating, part of an eating contest, a radiothon all day long. We'll be auctioning off Blazers luxury suites, a day where you can shadow me at a Blazers practice and go and interview your favorite Blazers, and all sorts of fun at Safeway in the Pearl. But people can check it out at baldfacedtruth.org.
Hey, if there's one thing I know how to do, and that's eat. I got that down. Here's Oregonian columnist John Canzano, going to be here each and every Sunday throughout the football season. JC, as always, my friend.